Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about fire cider. Now, what is fire cider? Well, fire cider is basically, it's almost like a cordial. It's something you make and then you would usually dilute and drink. And it's got amazing antibacterial properties and it's really good for your gut health. It's a probiotic, it's anti-inflammatory. It's got so many really good properties for you. It's a really good boost for your immune system and, you know, a way of warding off coughs and colds and things like that. So at this time of year, it's something that is a really useful addition to your pantry. Now, it's something I've never made before. And very kindly, my friend Alan from the Urban Homesteading UK podcast has offered to make a how-to video on how to make it. So that's what this is going to be. So very shortly, I'm going to hand you over to Alan, who's going to talk you through it and show you how you can make it. And it's certainly something that I'm going to add to my to-do list of things I haven't tried yet. The only addition I've really got to add to the advice that Alan is about to give you is about horseradish. Now, one of the ingredients is horseradish, and Alan mentions that it might not be the most available thing to buy. Well, it is one of the most available things to forage for. It's really easy to find in the wild. So I will put a link in the description to my video on foraging for horseradish. But other than that, I will pass you over to Alan. And if you like the cut of Alan's jib and you want to hear more from him, then I urge you all to check out his podcast, the Urban Homesteading UK podcast. It is excellent. Anyway, here's Alan.
Hi everyone, it's Alan from Urban Homesteading UK podcast here. I'm sure you're joining us to try and see Carl's beautiful face, and obviously he's not here with us today. I've just offered to give him a hand. Basically, he's incapacitated if you've been following what's going on. So I offered to do a little recipe. I did a bit of stuff in my kitchen, so here I am. I'm going to do a recipe for fire cider, which, if you've not come across it before, it's a bit like honey and lemon, but really pimped to a big sort of a level. It's going to make you really feel a lot better through the winter months, particularly if you're got a bit of a cold and stuff. So it's full of all sorts of antioxidants and other things that will help you if you're feeling a bit low, especially if you've got a bit of a cold or whatever. And in these times, obviously, that's really important. So I've got pretty much all of the horseradish root there, a really big bit of sort of hand-sized bit of ginger, some onions, some lemons, about a bulb and a half of garlic. It's a little bit of turmeric root. Some of you may not have come across this before. I'm going to use a little bit of that. You could use the powdered turmeric. I'm going to use a bit of that as well while I'm here. And a little pile of chilli. So all things that are really good for dealing with colds and flus and things like that. I've also got a big jug there full of, this is homemade apple cider vinegar. But if you can get hold of it, raw organic cider vinegar, if you haven't got your own at home, something with the mother in it ideally would be really what you're after. Okay. What we're going to make today is, or at least to start to make, is a drink. It could be used as something like a salad dressing or whatever, but mainly as a drink, okay? And we're going to put it into these jars. I'm not quite going to be able to finish the recipe today, but I'm going to show you how to start and then talk about what we do going through. It's a really simple recipe, and it's a really forgiving and versatile recipe. Some of you might not be able to find horseradish root. I got this from my local farm shop. If you can't get hold of it, I know supermarkets often don't carry it, although maybe they do in the run-up to Christmas. Just leave it out. I've done it beautifully without it in the past. Just put the other ingredients in, it works really well. Adding this, it just brings another layer of flavour and deliciousness to it. So I'm just going to chuck this straight in my blender. I've got the grating attachment in there. I'm just going to cut it so it's small enough to fit in there, okay? And then I'm going to run it through the blender. And I think probably what we'll do while I'm doing that is turn the video off for a moment. Okay, so we've put all that through the machine. It's all grated up nicely. I'm just going to take the last little bit out and put it in this big bowl here. And I'm using a spatula at this point because, as you can see, the little bits of turmeric that are in there that are grated up, they're going to stain my fingers, so I'm trying to avoid that if I can. It's inevitably going to happen, but I'm trying to limit that as best as I can. And I want to get all that ginger juice out as well because that's really good stuff. As you can maybe able to make out in the video there, to be honest, I couldn't be bothered to peel the garlic, so I didn't. I did peel the onions though, but all of this eventually is going to be strained out, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to steep this in vinegar for about 4 weeks, and eventually it'll be strained out. And all I'm going to do is just mix it up a little bit and try and just get that blended in together, okay? It is a little bit on the messy side. I've also then chopped up some lemon slices. You can see I've got some half slices of the lemon there. There's 3 lemons that I had. I'm just going to give that a little scrunch as I put it in. Get some of that juice out of there as well. Okay. It's really pungent And actually, if you can do this out in a well ventilated area, it's probably better. Because it's starting to get to my eyes a little bit. There we are. Right, so that's the idea. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little bit of this turmeric powder, okay? This is just the regular turmeric you get in the old spice jars. I'm going to put 3 teaspoons of that in there, okay? And eventually, and you can see this is the last bottle. I'm literally running on fumes now, the last little bit, so I need to get some more made as quick as possible. So there we are. So mix that in as well. And now what I've got over here then is 2 nice big kilner jars with really good seals on them. And these have been sterilised, so what I did there was I washed them just in soapy water, and then I put them in the oven for 15 minutes or so at 140 degrees, and that just kills any nasties in there. And those rubber seals have been just steeped in boiling water while that's been going on. So that should do the job of killing off any nasties that are on there. To be honest, the vinegar is going to kill most of anything that's left over anyway, but we're just belt and braces to make sure it's all working. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this into the jar, and I'm going to pack it in pretty tight. As you can see, I've got quite a lot there compared to the size of the 2 jars that I've got going on. Maybe that I need a 3rd one, but I'll deal with that later on if we get to that point. So pop that in there, push it down in. Now this recipe is really versatile. I mean, you can mix it up as you like and add different things. I've seen recipes out there with rosemary in there and all sorts of stuff. I really like it done like this. The gingeriness of it is really delicious. And what we're going to do, you might be looking at it thinking, oh my goodness me, that is just grim. Why would you put all those things together? What we're actually going to do is once it's steeped through and the vinegar itself has been properly flavoured, we're going to mix that about 50-50, again to your taste, but I go for about 50-50 with honey. Okay, so you've got all of this delicious amazingness going on in here that's going to make you feel really good, and then you're going to add some nice raw local honey to that, and you really can't go wrong at that point. You put some of that into a nice warm drink on a cold day, it's going to make you feel better straight away. Okay, so I'm then just going to top those up and really jam those jars nice and tight. I'm just going to pour in, and this is the homemade cider vinegar, full of probiotics, really good for you. And we're really only just starting to get the hang of how good cider vinegar is for us, so using that in this is really going to help. I reckon there might just be space for that last little bit. Look at that, it's almost like I planned it. The last little bit can go in there. What I might do, just swirl the bowl around, just get all that goodness out. Pour as much of that in there as I can. There we go. So like I say, I'm going to leave that on the worktop for about 4 weeks. Okay, at the end of those 4 weeks, what I'll do is I'll strain that mixture through a muslin to get all the juice out, and I will give it a little squeeze at the end, and then whatever comes out of that I'm going to mix literally 50-50 with honey. And what you want to do then is, just like you would with a cordial or a squash, something like that, you're going to add a little bit of them into the bottom of a mug or a cup or whatever, and add hot water. Important that you don't add boiling water. You've got all these amazing probiotics in here. What you don't want to do is kill them off by chucking boiling water on top. So hot water, but not boiling, okay? And a little mug of that at the evening will really help if you're feeling a little bit low. I hope that helps, and I hope that helps Carl out, but see you all again sometime. Cheers.
So there you go, fire cider. It's definitely something I'm going to be trying. I just love the idea of all those ingredients. They've all got their own different ways of helping. Things like the horseradish is really great for opening your sinuses if you've got a cold. Just sniffing a horseradish will tell you that. You know, you've got chilies, turmeric, all these things that we know have got amazing health benefits. We're putting them all into one, effectively an apple cider vinegar tincture, and then drinking it with honey. I mean, it just sounds amazing. So I hope you give it a go. I certainly will be. And thanks again to Alan for putting that together for me. And if you find these videos valuable, as always, make sure you press that like button. Also subscribe to my channel and press that bell so that you're alerted of any new videos as I upload them. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll speak to you on the next one.